Welcome everyone, and thank you so much for joining in. So if you are holding Bitcoin or if you are holding Ethereum, then this video is definitely going to be for you guys, because in this video I have prepared some very interesting scenario which could be unfolding in the media short term for Bitcoin and also in price action of Ethereum. So if you find it interesting, then please do watch this video till the end. And also guys, if you are not subscribed, if you haven't destroyed that like button, then please do it right now. So now starting here in a daily time frame for Bitcoin, what I want to talk about is this right angle broadening wedge. I want you guys to understand that in a downtrend, forming this kind of right angle broadening wedge is considered as a bearish scenario. We are aware of the price of Bitcoin from the top till the bottom line has already dropped more than 60%. Even though we are aware of that, any sort of impulsive movement here in the media short term, unless certain level of resistance, certain level of support is not going to get broken, we have to remain skeptical. Why? Because if we look at this right angle broadening wedge in a downtrend, according to this right angle broadening wedge, the probability of price heading here to the downside is higher than here to the upward direction. Why? Because this is considered as a bearish scenario, and in our case, if this is going to happen just like as shown here in the example, then you can see we could be getting gravitated towards the 25,000 area. We are aware of that, but it doesn't usually happen exactly as shown in example. Mostly what price does is shows a fake out or even weeks of consolidation before finally breaking towards the lower price target area. So that is the reason why, even if we are going to see any sort of impulsive movement here in the immediate short term, please do not get tricked. And not just only this guys, if you monitor the price movement inside this right angle broadening wedge, what we can also do is we can add this symmetrical triangle type of price formation. And even this symmetrical triangle, if we are going to see a breakout from this symmetrical triangle, then you can see, since we are still inside this right angle broadening wedge, it could be turning out as a fake out. Let me show you this in a very simple way. Now let's look at this symmetrical triangle one more time, because we know this symmetrical triangle in a downtrend, just like with this right angle broadening wedge, is considered as a bearish scenario. So yesterday, that's why I pointed out, even if we are going to see any sort of a movement here to the upside, faking it in this way as a breakout, then we have to overcome this resistance around 32,500 to 32,700 to invalidate this symmetrical triangle and even this right angle broadening wedge. So that's why guys, that's why if the price of Bitcoin breaks above this 32,500, 32,700 and finds support above it, then this is going to be more of a continuation pattern here to the upper direction, because in that case we will be breaking out of this key level of resistance right between this 32,500, 32,700 and could be continue this relief rally here to the upper direction. Unless this resistance line is not going to get broken, any sort of impulsive movement, as I've been very clear with you, could be looked as a fake out and then a price continuation here to the downward direction. Not just only here in a daily or even in a 4-hour time frame. Also guys, if we look at this price action here in a weekly time frame, let me show you this chart here. Now before I switch into other chart, I just want to make you aware we have up to $5,150 crypto exchange bonus available for you in the description down below. PHEMEX is giving around $4,100 bonus after your initial deposit, and BYBIT around $1,050 bonus. So if you are an experienced trader, if you want to take advantage of this market volatility, the link is provided in the description down below, so feel free to check it out. Now let's switch the chart. So now let's look at this in a weekly time frame and simply add this Fibonacci extension line just like yesterday, because I showed you that the price movement, what we have witnessed so far, is getting resistance exactly from the same Fibonacci line, the 0.5 Fibonacci line. You can see we tried couple of times, right? We tried couple of times to break the weekly or close the weekly above this 30,100, 30,200 area. We failed again and again. So now if this is going to be another very similar movement, then we know this weekly is not allowed to close below this 30,200, 30,100 area, because if we close weekly below the 0.5 Fibonacci line, then that is also going to trigger another sell-off type of scenario, because in that case the lower price target or the golden pocket is lying around 25,800, 25,900 price range. So that's why guys, that's why we want to avoid this. So to avoid this, the weekly must somehow close above this 0.5 Fibonacci line, because if we do manage to close above this 30,100, 30,200, then maybe right? This fake out could actually continue towards this 32,500, 32,700 resistance line, and only after breaking that line we are going to say, hey, this is an actual relief rally, and in that case we could be getting gravitated towards this 0.382 Fibonacci line, which is sitting around 34,000 to 34,500 price range. And not just only this, guys, not just only this, if you would also look at this price movement, what we are witnessing here in a very simple way, by simply adding this falling trend line here and another falling trend line here. So if you look at this price movement, what can you see? This here is a falling wedge. Falling wedge is a very bullish scenario. But in our case, even though we are aware the price of Bitcoin has already showed this massive correction, more than 60% from this top till the bottom line, will this play out? We have been very clear. In a weekly, if you look at bigger picture, price of Bitcoin still looks very weak. So that's why what I am actually assuming is that even if we are going to see any sort of a range bound type of scenario, the price of Bitcoin could show a final correction here to the downside before breaking into the upper direction, because we are looking for an actual accumulation phase or in the capitulation phase before starting this new marker phase. So that's why, guys, that's why until certain line of resistance or support is not going to get broken, we have to be very skeptical. And not just only this, guys, now if you also look at price action of Ethereum here, so guys, now if we look at this Ethereum chart, we are aware it's not looking that good. Why? Because if you monitor the price movement, it is showing us that, hey, this could be looked as a dead cat bounce type of scenario. Why? Because after this retracement, what we witnessed, the price of Ether found support at this 0.2 area where we had this relief rally or so-called dead cat bounce, and this dead cat bounce ended exactly after showing this retracement up to 0.5 level, Fibonacci level, exactly just like as shown here in the example. We arrived at this 0.3, and then you can see what happened with the trend. It started following this actual or the original trend direction. So that is the reason, if this is going to be a continuation pattern here in this manner, then the lower price target could be 1,100, 1,200 area. So that's why, guys, that's why any sort of a movement here in the medium short term could be just a fake out until price finds an actual support here around this area, and only after that show this reversal type of movement, because we are also expecting Bitcoin to do the same. First find a proper support or proper accumulation phase before starting this new marker phase. Not just only because of this example I am showing you in a weekly, not just only Bitcoin, also the price of Ethereum looks weak, you can see here. So let me add this very interesting scenario here in a weekly time frame one more time, because if you look at the price action of Ether here and simply follow this rising trend line, this rising trend line was always a very strong line of support. Each and every retracement around this rising trend line, after that we got a very nice bounce. But when we were below this rising trend line, the same rising trend line acted as a resistance, and since then the price of Ether is also showing this clear weakness. But if this trend here is going to continue to the downside, then we have to be very careful, because the price of Ether has already broken the support from this golden pocket area. Because if you take the Fibonacci extension from this high till this low, we can see very clearly, guys, the price of Ether has already lost the support, not just only the 0.5 but also the 0.618. And that's why, guys, that's why we have to be very careful, because breaking the support from this golden pocket area is a sign of weakness. So any sort of a movement here in a medium short term, unless we are not coming above this 1,900 to 2,000 area, we could see further retracement in price action of Ethereum. So that's why this weekly we wanted to close above this 1,900 to 2,000 price range. Why is it important for us? Because if you look at this in a smaller time frame or in a daily time frame, let me show you this very interesting scenario which could be unfolding next, because this line right now is actually acting as a line of resistance. Again, if you add another falling trend line here to the downside, we can see this falling trend line is acting as a support. Now, if we look at this both trend line, this upper line is acting as a line of resistance, right? And the lower line is acting as a line of support. So if this is going to be playing out as a descending broadening wedge, then we are aware this line here, the upper line area, or this 0.618 Fibonacci line, which is around 1900, must be broken at any cost, because if we break above that, then maybe we could be seeing this relief rally type of scenario. And in that case, if you measure the length from this top till the bottom, then you will find out that this trend continuation looks very, very good for Ethereum, where we could be again getting gravitated towards the 0.5 Fibonacci line. But as I've been very clear, to make this happen here in a weekly, we have to come across this 0.618 Fibonacci line around 1900 to 2000 price area, because if we do manage to find support above that, then there is a very likely scenario that this relief rally could be continuing at least towards this 2200 price range. But if we get rejection again and again around the same resistance line, then this bullish scenario here in the medium short term could be invalid for Ethereum. So these are some of the quick updates that I wanted to share with you in today's video. If you enjoyed my work, then do hit the like button, and also for those individuals watching this for the first time, hit the subscribe button and the bell. So by saying this, I'm signing out. My name is Anup. Bye bye.